The farms open 7:30 in the morning. That is when we open our farm and start the routine of the day here in the nutri farm. Yeah. The other thing, we head directly to feeding our chickens. By this time, the chicken are usually awake and they are waiting for me to start feeding them. The other thing, I wear my dust coat at this point just to prevent dust from getting to me. Yeah. So we start by feeding our chickens. This is in the morning, 7:30 in the morning. We start by feeding our chicken. You can see they are running towards me. They're running towards me. Yeah, that is the Michelin machine. Yeah. So let's go ahead and measure the food that we usually give in the morning. Measuring is very, very important. You just don't wake up and start giving food randomly. You have to measure the amount of feeds that you give in the farm so that you can know the cost of production of laying birds. You can even measure the amount of food in the farm so that you can also know the cost of raising the birds. Measuring is very, very important because you also get to know to be consistent in the amount of feeds you give the chickens. Yeah. So we feed our chickens their first meal. This is in the morning now. The chickens get to eat their first meal. Yeah. They get to feed their first meal in their feeding troughs. These feeding troughs are not enough because the type of chicken that I kept have a lot of weight. They have a lot of weight. So what I estimated about these cages did not fit in really well. So what I do, I add some feeding troughs inside just to reduce the congestion in the feeding tray, in the float feeding trays. Yeah, but it is usually it is very okay because the chickens that do not get to eat from the front part, they usually eat from the feeding trough, and that reduces congestion. Yeah, the next thing, we go to clean the drinking water and get clean water for the chicken. Today seems to be a sunny day. This is not always the case at this time. Yeah, this is allowed now 7:50. This is now allowed 7:50. That is when I usually go and clean my drinkers. Sometimes I usually clean them in the evening, and all I do in the morning is just come here and get clean water for my chickens. I'm always keen with the water that I'm giving my chicken. I just don't. I think the most precaution that I took is giving my chicken clean water, and these make them healthy all the time. All the time, my chickens are always healthy, and this is due to drinking clean water all the time. And I clean my drinkers every time, even during changing the water. Even during changing the water, I make sure my drinkers are clean. I could drink from them if it's possible. I always make sure I clean them, disinfect them, and I always add clean water to my chickens. Yeah, that is it. During this is still in the morning. This is probably by 8. That is when I introduce the drinking water. By this time, the chickens are still eating. First of all, I have noticed that the chicken usually concentrate with eating like the first 10 minutes. They are very fast eaters. They concentrate like eating, then they start drinking water, then they go back to eating. Then that is after like eating for 10 minutes, that is when they start taking food and water. Yeah, but they don't just take food and water at the same time. They usually take it randomly. Yeah, so what I do, I keep one drinker at this hour, and I'm going to come change it. After some time, I'm going to come change that drinker. Yeah, so I introduce clean water to my chicken at this particular hour. Yeah, then from there, oh, I have to now clean clear everything. But before that, I have to clear the front part. This is not the day we usually do the general cleaning. The general cleaning is where we go under, we remove all the waste from the house. But today is not that day. But basically, every day in the morning, I must clear this front part of the chicken. After adding water, I clear this front part of the coop of the chicken house and make sure it is always clean. Yeah, that is it. Yeah, it is usually, I feel good when I walk here and it's clean. Yeah, I clear the front part and take my waste outside where I usually dry the chicken's droppings. Yeah, from there we do this is where I do the what? I check I do the egg recording of the last day. Yeah, that usually happens in the morning. I do the egg recordings of the first day. I have to record everything. Yeah, from there I go to check the condition of the condition of the condition of the laying box. You can see my laying box. They are behind the house, behind the chicken house. This, I think I have the coolest laying box. They are very very cool. And some chicken usually lay very early in the morning. That the fact that when I come to check the condition of the laying box, I don't, I correct some few eggs and I clean the laying box so that during the day I'll come and collect clean eggs. Yeah, I always do this in the morning, clean the laying box of any dust or anything that could have been there. Yeah, but also there are those chickens that get to lay very early in the morning, so I also correct the eggs, the few eggs that might have been laid in the morning. Yeah, wow, by this time the chicken are still feeding, drinking water and continuing with the yellow routine. Yeah, this is where I come, clean the ring box and start our day just like that. So the first egg collection usually happen at 1. That is when I'll come and do the first serious egg collection. Yeah, you can see my laying box are cool. Then I come record the yesterday egg collection. Yeah, that is the yesterday egg collection, me recording the yesterday egg collection, and then start the today's egg collection with the few eggs that were laid in the morning. Yeah, that is it. Yeah, that's basically what happens here in the morning in the nutri farm during this period. Yeah, first of all we start by feeding the chicken, then we clear out, then we give them water, then we check the condition of the laying boxes and correct the few eggs that must have been laid very early in the morning and not record the yesterday eggs collection and set the new trend so that we can start the collection of the eggs today. So this usually take less than an hour to allege everything, less than an hour. So what I usually do after within the next 1 or 1.5 hour, they are supposed to be feeding on the super napier so that they can they can concentrate with laying and resting throughout the day. Yeah, stay with me. And right now we have to go to the garden and get the super napier. I usually do this the previous day because I don't like getting it in the morning because of the dew. But today I decided let's get the super napier from the garden together. That's me in the garden. I have come to get the super napier. This is where I have been getting my super napier. Yeah, I planted the super napier last year and the garden is taking shape and I'm so proud of myself. These are least clad and you can see the super napier is that video that I made of the super napier, the chicken eating. So I hope you have watched it. Kindly go and watch that video. Yeah, but we still do feed our chicken super napier and they are laying very healthy eggs. This is usually a supplement just to make sure our chickens are getting green vegetables. Yeah, we feed them the super napier, which is 18% crude protein. Yeah, this is why I usually come and get super napier, and the amount of super napier that I'm going to cut, it usually go for like 4 days. So I usually get this super napier like twice a week, and that is it. This time allowed, I usually go and cut it with the sharp cutter, simply because I don't get it every day. So what I do after cutting the super napier, that will last us for about 3 days, usually 20 to 25 kgs. I usually go and cut it using the sharp cutter and it usually go for 3 to 4 days. 3 to 4 days. Then I come get another batch of the super napier. Yeah, that is it. That is me preparing to chop the super napier. Yeah, I don't like collecting it, so what I do, I put those sacks there so that it can fall there. Yeah, let's go ahead and cut it into pieces. Usually take less than 2 minutes. Yeah, I am done, and let's correct our super napier. The moment I correct the super napier, I don't go and feed it directly to the chickens because this is not the time they feed to the super napier. So we collect our super napier, put it in a sack where we'll be getting it for the next like 4 days and supplementing it to our birds. They really love eating the super napier. Yeah, I bring it in the farm and this is where I usually take my first break. Like by this time the chicken are done eating their breakfast and I usually give them like time to digest the breakfast so that I can come and add the super napier in their feeding troughs. Yeah, that is it. That is where I usually keep it. You can see my chicken house is very clean. Very clean. This is my office. I always make sure it is clean. Yeah, that is it. That is it for the super napier. Then at exactly 1 lunchtime, that is when I come feed the chickens the super napier. At exactly 1, that is when I add the super napier to my chickens. Yeah, and also at this time I change the drinking water. I change the drinking water to clean water to make sure they continue drinking clean water throughout the day. Yeah, And then at this time, I usually collect the first egg collection usually happen after feeding the super nappy at 1. This is around 1:10. That is when I usually do the first egg collection from my ling box, the coolest ling box. Hey, now this is where we start. Yeah, we do the first egg collection, the first serious egg collection. The other one happened in the morning, but that is during the cleaning of the
That is basically what happens here in the farm. That is basically our routine in our chicken throughout the day. It is usually a very simple routine, but our chicken depends on that routine. So at any particular day, you don't get to miss that same routine. After feeding the super nappy, we usually go wait until 4. We change the water to, we add clean water for our chicken, the second loud. Then in the evening, right now I'm about to close the farm. I give them dinner. The farm usually closes at 6, but I usually introduce dinner at 5. I give them dinner. Then at 6, I come and do the last egg collection, and that is where I close the farm at 6 to between 6 and 6:30. That is where I close the farm until tomorrow. Yeah. Subscribe to the Mythical Farming channel. Till the next video. Bye bye.